trying a new thing, trying to do vlogging in the car while I'm driving. So, not safe, I know, but I'm going to attempt this. I am, in essence, making a road trip. So, yeah. I did a mini vlog yesterday, and yeah, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes for one, a minute for the other. Yesterday I went to visit my baby daddy in prison. So I think I did a video when I was out kind of running errands, getting prepared to go. So I wanted to do a follow-up video today to talk about the day, the night of visitation, the day of the day after visitation. So I think I was sharing yesterday that I get real nervous and anxious, and just the whole prep to go. And some of you ladies out there can relate to I have to have the right outfit on because I don't want to get turned around. I'm going to be mad as shit. So I took a risk and wore some tights, but I had a very long sweater over it. The sweater went past my knees. So, and the sweater wasn't tight or fitting or anything. It was kind of like you tie a house coat kind of sweater, and it was long, like I said, under my knees, but I was still kind of paranoid. I wore long sleeve shirts. I didn't have to worry about no sleeves or anything, but yeah, you want to make sure that. And I try to be cute, so I had heels on. So yeah, the heels hurt. So you have to I'll discuss it more. You have to go to one side of the prison to process in, to check in, and then you go to another area to get scanned and wanded and take stuff off. Then you have to walk to another area to get into the visitation room. So yeah, that's a lot when you're trying to be cute and wear heels and have a toddler with you. So yeah, all that kind of gets my nerves and all that stuff. So yeah, I guess I'll just start there. So I think when I did the video, I was leaving, I was waiting on the car to be clean. After that, I went to go pick up my son. He had spent the night with his grandmother the night before, thank God. Always kind of before the visit, I kind of get in kind of a moody, kind of bluesy, nostalgic kind of mood. So I'm glad that he stayed with grandma the night before. I was able to kind of unwind with some girlfriends, go to the bar. I had a good night. And like I indicated, he had called me that night, the night before. So yeah, so I was leaving the car dealing place, going to pick him and his grandmother up. Of course, they were not ready. I was already pressed for time because I think I left the house too late to go get the car cleaned. Car cleaning costs damn $60, so that's what I mean about not having the money to go last month. Last month would have been the anniversary of him being away for like 3 years. So I really wanted to go in February, but just couldn't because it's just, you know, preparing to go and all that stuff. So yeah, getting the car detailed, which was absolutely necessary because my back seat is horrible with the baby back there. So yeah, went to get them. They weren't ready. He wasn't dressed, so I had to get him dressed. So getting him to be still and come get his stuff on and all that, and the coat and the shoes. She wasn't finished getting dressed. She was still kind of running around looking for a jacket, looking for shoes. So long story short, we left. Still had to go get breakfast. There's a little local chain here that does like soul food kind of breakfast. So drive-through was off the chain. Didn't want to go in the drive-through, so we went inside. Inside wasn't no better. So it was, I think we at least wasted 20 minutes there getting breakfast. So yeah, by then I already knew like my time span to get up the road. It usually takes me anywhere from 2.5 to like exactly 3 hours to get there. It just depends. So we should have left by 10:30 at best, no later than 11. And I think we were going to get on the highway from through the city, maybe by like 11:20, maybe 11:30. So yeah, that threw off the 2.5, 3 hour goal. So visitation starts at 1:30. We got there about 1:45. And like I described, you park in the parking lot, you go to one small building. That's where everybody has, all the people doing visits that they usually stand in this little building. There's like one, maybe 2 chairs, and they know like 20 people are going to be there. So that's weird because you're all confined in one little area, little awkwardness. Sometimes if there's kids, which I always have Rylan, that kind of eases up the tension in the room, because of course he knows no stranger. He's walking around talking to everybody, or I'm having to get behind him for everything or get to him. So yeah, you stand in that room. What perturbs me about and this goes along with the whole like mixed emotions about the whole day, because I don't know, I think my son does very well to be 2 years old. He's very, I think most toddlers, he's very hyper vigilant anyway. Like I remember when he first heard the sound of a motorcycle and like the muffler engine sound, he was startled. So he doesn't like startle easily by like the gates opening and shutting. So he's very, yeah, he does well with that. I'm surprised, I'm thankful. So yeah, visitation's at 1:30. I don't think they start checking all the visitors in until 1:30. Although people are standing there maybe sometimes for a whole 30 minutes prior to visitation, in my opinion, they can still start checking people in, checking people, giving them their visitation thing. That could just be the holding room, because they're taking up at least 10 minutes at the most if there's a lot of people, and then there's discussions about what people have on and ID and name on the list, all that. I think they should start early. So that's a part of the process. They try to have, they don't want single people going in and out the gate, so they'll let kind of a few people, a small group congregate, maybe 3 or 4, open the gate, let them in one small section. You stand there, they have to close the gate behind you, open another gate, and then you walk up this sidewalk going straight. That place is where you have to go through a metal detector. I always beat, because usually I have some boots on or something, or a belt. So this time yesterday I had some little black booties on, and the black booties zipped up the back. I already knew that was the metal that was making it go off, so I had to take the shoes off. Mind you, I have my 2-year-old standing beside me. He just stands. They don't make him go through, they don't wand him, they don't make him turn around, all that stuff. So I'm going through that, taking the shoes off. Then I have to stand in front of one other like metal detector kind of thing. So I stand and then I turn around in a circle while I guess the thing scans me. Don't know what that is. Then I have to walk over and then they wand me. So yeah. So getting the shoes back on. Then we have to go back out that building, back down a long sidewalk, through another section of gates, another sidewalk, and then another sidewalk. Then we get to the building where we go in where the men are held. So yeah, that you have to go into a section and a big metal door open. So my son does well with that too, now that I think about it, because that sound can be kind of, because it's the beep and the and then the open of the kind of steel door, I guess. So yeah, that's a moment there, and he does well. Yesterday we were in that section by ourselves because again we were late. So just imagine all those places, walking from point A to point B to finally point C. Yeah, feet were hurting, trying not to be looking like I'm hoofing it. So we were in that section by ourselves, me and my son. His grandmother was behind us, coming up the sidewalk. So he was we can see there's like a slit of glass where you can see the guys, and his dad was like right there, like a perfect angle. So he waved to him. His dad waved back, so that was nice. Weird, but nice. My son got very giddy and very happy and smiling, because I show him pictures of his dad often. When his dad calls, I tell him his dad on the phone. He'll come talk to him, and vice versa. So yeah, he knows we're going to see Dada. As we're prepping the whole morning, we're getting him ready. We're going to see Dada. We're going to see Dada. So that was nice that he kind of was trying to converse with him, even through this steel door, even through this glass. Yeah. So it was a good visit overall. I always appreciate when his mother goes with me. Me and my son's father, we talk at least once a week. So that's a lot. And we write. We don't write as often as we used to, of course. I think, of course, the first few months, the first year, we wrote a lot. Probably by the second year, it was kind of like a couple times a month, because we were still talking every week. At some point while he's been gone, we were talking every couple days, just depending on money, just depending on if he have access to a phone, all of that stuff. So yeah, I can definitely appreciate his mom coming along, because she keeps the conversation going. There's always things to talk about, but sometimes it's like, what are we going to talk about? Usually we're just trying to be very interactive with our son and engaging him and showing Dada new things, or spelling his name now. He's spelling his name, so spelling his name for Dada, naming colors. One good thing, I guess I should say, is they have something for the kids, so they get coloring pages and crowns. So that's something I try to do during the visit, is kind of have them interact and have my son sit in his dad's lap and color there. So I'm trying to engage him and help mommy color with Dada, or give Dada a kiss, or give Dada a hug. So I try to have them interact so his dad can kind of see how he's progressing and growing and developing. It's amazing. Teaching them how to speak in colors and different things. So hopefully his dad is appreciative of those opportunities, I would hope. So yeah, the visit went well. Like I said, his mother keeps the conversation going. Sometimes we're kind of just talking about the people right there in the room. But yeah, the visit went super fast, because like I said, we were late. So it did seem to go by really fast. The visit, we definitely finally got in by like 2. But the visit was over at 3:30, so we didn't get the full exact time. We lost like 30 minutes of the visit, so that sucked. I don't think we have been quite that late before. But again, they haven't always had that separate area where you have to do the wanding and the turning around and the taking stuff off. They haven't always had that. So even though the first check-in process is tedious and time-consuming, they had not always had that other area, which I definitely feel waste time too. That's ridiculous. They should do all of that in that one section. So while having the visit with my son's father, he talks about concerns he has about the conditions on his unit. So I've reached out to a local support group here in my state. It's a mixed group, not just partners or significant others and wives and girlfriends. Their mothers, their uncles, their grandmothers, aunts, what have you. So I reached out to them today, because really kind of just seeking, I guess, support, to kind of know what battle to fight, really. what to take on, what should I just chop up as that's a product of being incarcerated. To a degree. I mean, when it begins to be inhumane, then something should happen. If there is fire and life, these safety codes that you must maintain as an institution, then they're there for a reason, for the safety of the inmates that's in there. And I think all that goes to the morale of the prison system and the well-being of the prisoners. So I can be very, very passionate about that due to my career in the field that I work in as what I do for a living. So I don't know if I'm barking up the wrong tree, if I'm kind of displacing kind of my frustration that he's going through that situation. I don't know if that's what I'm feeling, or if I'm just feeling like this needs to be corrected and I need to fix it. I already anticipate that is a lot of work, a lot of time, commitment, and time, and I don't have quite a lot of time here lately. So I don't know what I want to do with that information. I don't even know what I need to do with that information that he shared. But yeah, it's very concerning. To the level, it speaks to the level of violence that's, I wouldn't say allowed, because some things are beyond your control. I understand that as well. But the type of folks that are housed with each other. Like, I do not feel like someone with behavioral issues, outbursts, intimidation tactics should be housed. Very aggressive people should not be housed with folks that's doing well, that's in programs, that's working, that's doing in school. I think it just sets those men up for failure. And yeah, I understand the level of that's life in prison, but it needs to be safe. The way my son's father described it is that if something jumps off, like an altercation or a brawl, there is nowhere safe for any innocent inmates that's not participating in the brawl to go. There's no egress, there's no exit. You're kind of like trapped with these predators, so to speak. So that's concerning. I dare not think of getting that call that he's been injured. God forbid he loses his life, anything. But despite physical injury, it affects the psyche of the man, and the black man at that. So yeah, I'm concerned. And of course, you have all those emotions that come along with that, and still, dealing with the whole visit and the anxiety of that. I think I mentioned in my video yesterday that the call I got from him in the morning, he brought up marriage. So that's not a topic that we have talked about here recently. Definitely not in the last 3 years. Definitely before he left. We have definitely talked about it, how that would look for us. Does marriage fit for us? That kind of conversation. So I thought that when he brought it up the other morning, I reconvened where we left off. Like, is marriage for us? Is that what you want? Is that what we want? Is that what we need? Like, I gave him the example of like knowing people that have been together for 20 years and gotten married and then gotten divorced. So yeah, so that conversation went okay, but he kind of got pissy with me because he said, we'll have this conversation later because obviously you're not sure what you want. I'm like, dude, I've been sure of what I wanted many, many, many years ago, being with you. You're the one that took your old sweet time and wanted to sow your route, your royal oats. So You the one out here in these streets. I know what I want. So yeah, it kind of went south just for a minute. So yeah, that's if he brings that up, because I do not plan to bring that up. It'll be interesting where his head is. I mean, yeah, it's easy to fantasize and think about the future and all that, but like I reminded him yesterday, he said something about my weight. So like I told him, I have 7 years to work on my weight. So get off me about my weight, because sir, you're not looking like a skinny mini yourself these days with that big old gut. So yeah, we both getting older. We gonna have some pooches and pouches and all that stuff. So yeah, I have 7 years, and you talking about marriage, you talking about 7 years from now, at the most, if not 9, if you don't know how to act, because it's supposed to be 12, but here in our state, when the guys have, I guess, this history, they consider him a, what is it, career criminal, or like menace to society, or habitual felon. So because he's a habitual felon, yeah, you have to do 85% of your time. So 85% of 12 is 10. So 10, and he's hoping that it's much less. So yeah, I'm like, okay, we're 3 years in, you're talking about 7 more years. We still talking about marriage. So of course he snapped back and said, I'm talking about 4. So I don't know for the life of me how he has chopped 7 years down to 4. Cause yeah, he ain't in no damn programming like that to get 7 chopped down to 4. But that would be great if it's 4. The sooner the better for my son. So I don't know. I think they talk to you about the future, like they being men incarcerated. They talk to you about the future because that like hooks you in and ties you into the hope and the possibility of that, which I felt that he did through, you know, many years of our relationship prior to him going in. Mind you, we have been together for 12 years. Damn, it's been 12 years. We met in 2006. It is 2018. Yeah, we've been together for 12 years. So yeah, they always promise you that future of marriage. Like, I feel like it's like a carrot in front of an animal, like carrying it. Like, dude, I'm not sitting around like waiting on that ring. Like, how do you know that's what I want? And like I told him when he brought it up, like, does a ring keep you home at night? Like, will the ring keep you from being in the streets from Thursday to Sunday? Like, you're in the clubs and in the streets and coming home after the sunrise and things like that. The ring isn't going to do that. And I'm not stupid enough to believe that the ring and this legal commitment that we've made, this legal binding contract of marriage that we're in, is that going to change all that? Because, yeah, dude, you're not going to marry me, then we get a divorce, and I owe you alimony. Can't do that. So, yeah, I don't know what has spurred the marriage conversation the other day. I don't know where that's coming from. Yeah. So that's how the visit was. Like I said, usually the night before the visit is I have a lot of angst. Kind of same after the visit, the night of. Again, had a good night. Got a bottle and just watched TV and relaxed and had a good night. So my son stayed with his grandmother again, so had a good night. that kind of gives me the opportunity to kind of debrief, kind of reprocess, like, where is this going? And not that it needs to go anywhere, because in my opinion, I still need to maintain contact, despite my status with my son's father, because I want my son to have a relationship. I want them to have a relationship. So that I have no qualms about that. And I even foresee that, you know, once my son gets a little older, and in the event that his dad is still there, after a few years, then I would be okay just sending my son with his grandmother. I don't necessarily see that, you know, if our relationship doesn't continue, that I need to go. Now, of course, that needs to be a conversation I have with him, that, okay, I'm no longer going to be coming, because I'm sure he would have an opinion about that, especially if he's talking about marriage. So, yes, I don't know. It always, and I only visit every 4 months. So every 4 months, I kind of have this whole introspection kind of feeling to say, okay, what am I doing here? Is this what I want? You know, as far as the connection he and I have, is this something I want to continue? Do I love him? Do I still love him? Will I still love him when he comes home? I have a good girlfriend, and her spouse, they are legally married. Her spouse has been out back home, released, maybe 2 years now. I'll give it 2 years. And according to her, it's been a challenge. Of course, we all know that. We all know what we are accepting when we accept this role of significant other to someone that is incarcerated. So yeah, we all understand and know that plight, but I don't know. I feel like I have options because we are not legally binding now. Yeah, and I don't want to hold on in vain for a promise of a ring and promise of that legal commitment, only to 15 years from now it all go to hell, and I look back like, what the F did I do and why? So yeah, I don't want to promise marriage to him if, you know, I do wait and hold him down and he get home and he's about that foolishness again. Like, if I see signs of that foolishness again, like, I can't promise you marriage. I can't. I won't. So yeah, that's a discussion we have to have. So yeah, it was a good visit. I'm not due for another visit for another 4 months. So I'm unsure if I'm going to go in June of 2018 or if I'm going to go in July of 2018. I'm leaning towards June because that would put me back on my 4-month rotation, because since I was supposed to go in February and it's now March. July is my birthday month, so I definitely want to dedicate my birthday month to myself. Yeah, I don't want to be trying to budget to go up the road, get the car fixed. Like, we had to stop and eat twice. We had to get breakfast and we had to get dinner. So that's eating twice. Yeah, and gas and time. Like I said the other morning, that's like a 8 to 10 hour day. It's a lot. It's the whole day is gone. So yeah, I'm not due to go back in June, I'll say. So we'll see how June goes. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more videos before June, so I can kind of keep you guys updated. Definitely, if this marriage conversation comes up again, I'm sure he's going to be calling me today. He usually calls like throughout the whole weekend of the visit that we've had, so I'm sure he'll call at some point today. He actually knows that I'm going out of town to finish getting my hair done, so I'm sure he'll call and check on us and make sure we made it in okay. So might have another update of how the conversation after the visit goes, so we'll see. Well, let me get up this road. I will do another video soon. Bye.